Bless up, family. This is Motivation and Memoirs, and I'm Colin. This is the male version of communication in marriage, and I have with me Pastor Miller and Pastor Ball. So we are going to share and talk the thing them how we communicate, how we get on, how we balance the thing in our marriage. So give this video a thumbs up, a like, and a share. Meet me on the other side as we talk these things.
Gentlemen, for this talk, we are going to be looking at communication in marriage from the men's perspective, right? And the three of us here are married men at perhaps different stages of marriage for different lengths of time, etc. So for me, it's 5 years. You can tell us how long you've been married. Pastor Denzel Miller is with us as well. My name is Charles Wall, connected from Australia, and I have Pastor Denzel Miller and Pastor Colin Thomas, connecting from Jamaica. And we're all men in leadership in the church, and we're going to be talking about communication in marriage. The women have had their discussion on the topic, and now it's our turn to say what is on our minds. How do we see communication? And what does it mean to us? And what should it look like? What does it all entail? All right, so Pastor Denzel Miller, I'll give you a chance to do an introduction of yourself, and you can tell us how long you have been married, and then we can move on to Pastor Thomas. Thank you.
Okay, so let me get the ball rolling. Good night again, each and every one. It has been a great pleasure to be on this platform to share with God's beautiful people. Yes, I am Denzel James Miller, married now, husband of one wife. Yeah, married for 27th of next month will be 25 years. 25 years. Yeah, father of, I'm counting. father of 7 children, 2 deceased, 6 boys and a girl. I'm also pastor, doing pastoral duty now for going 11 years. I think that's all about for now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Pastor Thomas?
Okay, I'm Pastor Thomas. I pastoring for quite some time, maybe in the 20s here, and also married of one wife for the past 20, well, the next month, the 16th of next month will be 27 years.
Next month, wow, we can't keep one thing together, man.
All right. And you know, it's have been a wonderful thing. And I was just holding a meds today, and I said, wow, my marriage is not successful because I am Mr. Bombastic or Mr. Goody, but I believe it's because I married the right person. And because of that, I, feel what I must say, feel like I would marry the same woman again.
I will be married up.
And you better say that too after 27 years.
Yeah, but if a woman chooses to live with me for
I will do it all over again to the same person.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
If a woman be with me for 27 years, I'll do it again.
And I can tell you it's not easy to be the wife of a pastor.
Oh Lord.
No. Right, that is so true.
Oh Lord. Serious thing. As a matter of fact, Tina always told me that, and I think that so even before we got married, that one thing she always told herself that she doesn't want to get married to any pastor. Right? And look exactly which one she end up. So it's such a huge task. It's a big burden to carry. being married to a man of God, somebody who is active in the church, because you always have to be doing so many different things. So many people need it, and they're pulling at you in so many different directions. And you still have to make the time to be there for your wife. If you have children, you still have to be there for your children. And you still have to find time to be managing your own life as well as a church, maybe a business, and church come with people and people come with problems and all sorts of things, so it's not easy. So even in that regard, communication is sometimes a big issue for many married couples, particularly for people who are in leadership, because if it's not done properly, or depending on what might be happening, you always have to ensure that you maintain open lines of communication, right? Especially when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, you have to be careful. There has to be transparency, and you always have to make sure that your wife, your woman, is comfortable in everything that you are doing and how you're interacting with other people. So there's this added element of pressure then, or added element of caution that men in leadership or men in ministry have to be mindful of when communicating and dealing with other people. All right. So, all right. So the women have had their turn, and now it's the guys' version. We want to talk about communication in marriage, right? So I think what we want to talk about first is perhaps the cultural perspective. Now, all three of us here are married to Jamaican women, right? And all of us know that Jamaican women, as we say, not easy, right? Jamaican women are not easy. Sometimes they seem to be much more problematic than any other kind of woman out there. But of course, because we are from the same culture, we kind of know how to manage each other and how to cope as best as possible. So first of all, let us talk about what is the perspective of a Jamaican woman that we have. Pastor Millie, you can go first for us, please.
Okay.
What is your perspective of the Jamaican woman, and especially when it comes to communication?
Well, I think that was an easy one for me because what I believe in this, I've never crossed the waters of the Caribbean. Never crossed. The nearest I go to find is the airport. So my perspective, Jamaican women, they are nice. Yes, I think we would classify them as stubborn, but they are strong-willed women. Strong-willed women. And you understand, I also tell folks that you see a man without a vision, especially a married man without a vision, you're gonna be in problem. You're gonna be in problem. Reason why? Women made to complete us as men, right? And to help us in whatever capacity. And if we as men don't have any plans, we're gonna be in trouble because women, they are natural helpers. So they're gonna want to help us in whatever way they can. And if we are not, if we don't have anything for them to help us with, then they will help themselves. So as I said, they are strong-willed, yes, strong-willed, and I am very much. Sir, my wife come standing right in front of me, just looking and distracting me, but that's all right, But as I said, cultural wise, I've never traveled, so I stick with my Jamaican woman.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you. Pastor Thomas?
Oh, bless God. Well, Jamaican woman, I believe is the best in the world. There's no other nation like Jamaica. I believe Jamaican woman is the best. And one of the things with Jamaican woman, I believe is that they don't love to be controlled. If we try to control them, then we're just in a trouble. Jamaican woman just want to be loved. And as a man, you just got to be a man. So they will pressure you. Sometimes we say them stubborn and and pressuring, but they pressure you to be the man sometimes that they want you to be. Because I mean, I believe women compare their man. You understand? They will look and see, oh, Child operate, they will look and see, oh, Miller operate. And if it look good, they will say, my man need to step up in the game, my man need to start dress different, my man need to start do that. You know, so the woman, I believe, as Pastor Miller said, the woman complete the man. I would not say that. I believe the woman bring out the man out of the man. That's
All right. So the woman brings the man out of the man. I think I understand where you're going with that. Okay. All right. So, right. So, I mean, it might be a bit difficult for us to talk about what other women may be like, or even compare the Jamaican woman to other women, right? But something that Pastor Miller has expressed is that Jamaican women can be stubborn, right? And I think particularly is women of all races, by the way. But there's just something special about Jamaican women. I believe they have a stubborn organ somewhere in their bodies, right? Which makes it a bit more difficult in terms of communication, right? All right. So, since we all agree that perhaps Jamaican women are a bit more stubborn, right? Then it means that there is an added dimension in terms of communicating with them that we need to be considering as men. So we might consider that this may be a cultural sort of barrier, or is it just how women are? So what do we think in terms of this being culturally based? Is it that Jamaican women are stubborn because the Jamaican culture causes people in general to be stubborn? Because truth be told, Jamaican men are very stubborn too, right? So is it a Jamaican thing or is it a Jamaican woman thing? What do we think?
I heard many times that I'm stubborn. I coming from my wife. I am stubborn. Your children, I'm stubborn like you. So I don't know. Maybe it's a Jamaican thing. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But as I said, because we are strong-willed people. We are strong-willed people, and as Jamaican, we are determined. We are determined. So maybe we are twisting the thing. Maybe because of our determination. Because trust me, we're gonna use track and field for instance. Look at, you remember the first time Usain Bolt went to Olympics. One of them. Yeah, man, and he ran muscle last with him chain in his mouth. And a couple of years after that, I know he become the greatest. And I think it's all because of determination. So maybe I don't know, and maybe we're using the wrong term, but I guess we Jamaican are determined. All right, you get a Jamaican might go to abroad and they get kicked, they get deported, and then decide to say, oh, I'm going back, and they will do anything to get back. And so maybe it's determination. I don't know.
All right, I'll hold on to that one. Father Thomas.
Yeah, well, I would join with Pastor Miller and say it's a determination. And two, if you decide that you want to achieve something, you want to achieve it. And if you don't see any other way, or if you don't see where it is wrong to achieve it, then you are going to. So if there's a situation between you and your wife is saying, this way or that way, but you don't see the wife way, then you are going to do it the man way. You understand? And that may appear to be stubborn from the wife perspective, but it is determination from the man perspective. You understand? So the barriers or the culture is really the determination. It's not so much the stubbornness, right? Because I mean, there are a lot of things that my wife actually would love me to do the way she wanted it to be done.
Yeah.
But it's not me. You understand? So when I try to do it that way, I am a bit uncomfortable. And I will do it the way I know how to do it, and it might come out the same. And she will say, "Good job." You know, so I think it is determination. And two, now maybe the level of what I should say, breaking down, or maybe from the language that you speak, then maybe to a different level. So maybe that could be the communication barriers, right?
Okay. All right. So far, what we have then is that perhaps one main barrier in marriages, and we're talking specifically from the Jamaican perspective for now, right? Maybe determination, which might otherwise be called stubbornness. All right. We'll go hold on that one there. All right. So in that case, we might want to consider then that many times some of the difficulties that come out of men communicating with women is a determination to achieve something, right? And we're going to look at that shortly. All right. So, well, you know what? Let's talk about it right now. Now's a good time. If we look at, for example, in Genesis 3, and we're going to the Bible now, right? This is after, Adam disobeyed God's order and ate the fruit of the particular tree that he wasn't supposed to, and then he blamed the woman for it, etc., right? And God said a certain thing to the woman. Genesis 3, verse 16, he says, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children." That's one part. Now, the other part is what we want to focus on. "Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." Right? Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Now, when we read the plain English text as it is, we don't really get the full understanding of what that actually means, right? Right there, when God said your desire will be for your husband, if we read deeper into the meaning of the text, it actually is saying that your desire will be to rule your husband. It will be to have power over him, but he is going to rule over you, right? So there's already right now a tug of war that we see happening right there. And it is because of man's disobedience, right? So let us talk about that determination that Pastor Miller mentions. Is it what we're seeing, possibly the manifestation of that word which was spoken so long ago to the first man and woman, in that the natural order of things had been disrupted, and now, just as God said that the seed of the woman is going to be in enmity against the devil, right? There is going to be a fighting, referring, of course, to Jesus Christ coming on the scene, and the battle to ensue between him and the devil. We also see that there is now a clash happening between the man and the woman. So he's saying, you are man and woman, supposed to be one flesh, but at the same time, your desire is going to be to have your way over the man, but the man will rule over you.
Yeah.
Is it possible that what we're seeing in terms of the stubbornness, which we are now terming determination, because it might just be a determination for the women to rule the man, that we are seeing? Is this possibly what we're dealing with? Pastor Thomas, I'll start with you.
Well, every marriage, I believe, have their own dynamics, and every one work different. What work for you, it may not work for me. And in terms of rule, I don't know, but in my marriage, there's no ruler, because we look at that scripture too. You understand that because of sin, I never look on it the way you look on it. Pastor Charles, said the woman will want to rule over the man, but the man will rule. You understand? We look at it because of disobedience. That's how I look at it. Because of disobedience, the man will rule over you. So really, my wife and I, we don't rule each other. We work together in every situation. You understand? So now that you put it this way, sometimes when we work together this way, it may look to some as if the woman might want to rule or try to rule or domineering. But you know, I hear some things years ago from an elderly man. I was working for him, was working on his building, and he get a call from his wife, and you know, he says to me, say, boy, a woman advice value nothing, but it's only a fool that don't take it. And within 2 days, the man leave the island. He have never come back, and he sell the building. You understand? So I mean, I would not say rule. I think of it making the right decision at the right time. You understand? Understand that we are in a situation, and now the woman might make the right decision at the right time for that situation, in order for the benefit of both of us. But it's not a matter of saying rule. You understand? However, it cannot be comfortable with any standing man as a Christian who is woman domineering and ruling over him in that way. It cannot be a comfortable thing. Number one, it will cause rebellion in some way. So I don't know if it's the desires to rule over, you understand, or the desire to make the decision, or the woman come with the right decision for that special moment.
All right, loud and clear. Pastor Miller, what do you think?
Yeah, very, very profound. I as Pastor Charles said that the desire, yes, and I was here scanning through it. Yes, I strongly believe that as a man, if we as a man allow a woman desire, because the Bible said that desire shall be for the husband. If we as a man allow that desire, as night follow day, they will want to rule, because it is their desire. And we understand, if you desire a glass of water, you don't want juice. You're going for water. You're going for water. And I believe that's why, I guess it's in Ephesians, why God come back and say, woman, a wife should submit themselves to their own husband. Because submission is very much important. Yes, man is the head. We all know that. Amen. But as we establish from beginning that a woman come to complete a man, right? To complete us, not to compete. And I often say that sometimes women make some, I could even say most of the time, women make some conscious decision, and sometimes because we are men with this ego and say, well, we are man, and and take on a woman and say, we go against what they say, I'm gonna give you an instance. I remember I was making a kitchen cupboard, and each one could partner for the thing. So my wife came from work one evening, and she told me she get the money and she give the man all of the money. And me as hell now, and I'm there for fire. Me say, you're mad. Go back for the money. You can't give the man all of the money. You understand? Give him a portion of it. And she as I said, the desire, she never got do it. She never got. And when the kitchen cupboard was completed, I was happy that she never go back for it, because I wouldn't have no money to really pay at that time. So I would say, man, in spite of I was raised like a bull in a man, but she have made the right decision. And sometimes, to be truthful, men, sometimes it pays to listen to our wives. It pays to listen to our wives,
Mhm.
especially, come on, they are like our second set of eyes, you know. Because watch this, you know, if for instance, we are men. If we are pastors, yes. If a sister within the church have a eyes on you, believe me, your wife know before you. And sometimes they say to you, you know, believe you. I say, sure, don't think that we are there.
No, exactly. Not go so.
You understand?
It's in your mind.
So, in your mind. So that desire thing is a strong word, Pastor Charles, and I never look into it like how you explain it to us. You understand? And if, as I said earlier, if we as men allow them to rule, they will rule. You better believe it.
Yes,
And
they will.
as Pastor Sama said, it will feel uncomfortable, worse as a pastor. Because first thing, remember, the most say you can't come talk to me, you can't talk to your wife. You better believe that.
Okay, that is right.
And it will put you under so much strain. So
that is absolutely right.
Yeah, so back over to you, Reverend Charles.
All right. So I think I'd like us to pick up on that point right there. You can't talk to me if you can't talk to your wife.
Yeah.
What are some of the difficulties that men have in talking to women? You yourselves, as married men of 25 and 27 years, that is all of 52 years of marriage between both of you. You know, that's a whole lifetime these days because people not even reaching that age anymore, right?
Young men them
A
dying.
whole, a whole lifetime. In your experience, not just dealing with your wives, but dealing with women in general, what are some of the difficulties in talking to women? And when I mean, or when I say talking to, I mean in terms of communicating. Either it is an idea, an instruction, a desire, not just having like a casual conversation. What is the difficulty that men encounter when talking to women in that sense? Pastor Thomas, you can go first.
Okay, I think, well, the difficulties that I encounter is misunderstanding or misinterpreted. My wife always said that when I speak to a lady, it's a friendly tone. It's too friendly, and it seems as if me what I must say on a different mission, but naturally I'm
You
like
like
that.
her.
Whereas if you just meet somebody, or even at the minister, and there's somebody from the church, your desire, if they have a problem, your responsibility is to work it out the best way you can. And you're going to use the tone that is welcoming, that is well receiving, and all of that. So the difficulties is just misunderstanding, and maybe why, they would want to know. Because I remember I was talking to a young lady, and I was talking to him, and she was saying, "Oh, you sound so, what happened?" And I just hung up the phone. You understand? Because, some misunderstanding there, and it's a person who I know was going through a real difficult time. You understand? Difficult time. You understand? But I found out afterward what is the problem. So it's the misunderstanding of how you bring across. You understand? And because sometimes too, the what I must say, the way we are not trained, or we don't accept the training properly, or we don't practice what we taught by the elders, how to really communicate with a woman, because sometimes we feel that we are so strong and we can do it. So the way they used to do it, because I listened to Bishop Rumble, he was sharing something with us sometimes, and he was simply saying he wanted to do something with a young lady, and he bring a man, and all what he did, he used the man to do it. Him just guide the man. He did not do it. You understand? So I mean, he's trying to protect himself from everything that may be said or maybe think. You understand? Me, just do what me have to do and get it over with, but misinterpret sometimes. Because I remember once I speak to a young lady, very young. I was not a minister then, a Christian, but the counseling thing kick in, and she from certain age, and she had certain problem, and I after me speak with her, she said, "Whoa, you would make a good boyfriend," So yes, so so they miss, because if somebody have a problem, you want to help them solve the problem, and you will do what it takes within your skill to help to solve the problem, but it was misinterpreted. So I think it's misunderstanding and misinterpreted.
Okay, all right, thank you, Pastor Miller. Problems in
Yeah,
communication. What makes
problem.
it so difficult for men to communicate with women?
Okay. One of the most difficult problems I found out in communicating with women, especially as a pastor, especially to a young sister in the church, relationship wise. Like for instance, the first thing they will tell a pastor, there is none of the men in the church, good men in church. And sometimes they will say that they are dating someone and unsaved. And for me, I'm totally, I will tell them sometime, if any of you coming to me uh, about marriage or anything like that, make sure you save, make sure you get the man saved before you take him to me, and they will take it for fun. But there are many instances that I have to deal with, and I will say to them, oh, it's wrong, and they must say, sir, blah blah blah, and I won't fight them. I just tell them my stand and what I totally believe in, and eventually it don't work out. And if in my shop, I have to be the same one, comforting them and consoling them. You understand? So relationship, yes, it's one of the toughest thing to talk to young people about, young ladies about, especially when they feel that they are getting old and they see that relationship is running away from them. And they say, boy, wait upon the Lord, and blah. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And they will say to you, why, Pastor, you married already, and blah, 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 and whatever. The other one is like dress code. My sign was acting up on me. The dress code. Uh, it's difficult, very difficult as a man pastor, male pastor, to address a woman, especially one-on-one, about the dress code. It's easy to teach congregation, teach it, preach it, and there are certain things it don't good to it to preach, like, because time and age have passed when certain things you preach from the pulpit and let people feel cute. Don't do them stuff there again. The word is to give life. So I believe that's what I might believe, that preaching certain things from the pulpit doesn't make sense. It's much better you get the person one-to-one. So, like, to tell them about the dress code, they might, even in my shop, they say, Pastor, you watch me and all them stuff. Yeah, they will say it, especially if they're not comfortable with all you're saying it to them. So I found that kind of difficult, and that is why it is important, very much important, in the church for the congregation to respect the wife of the husband.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, because there are certain things that it is more, what I should say now, more easier for the wife to relate to the female, because they will think otherwise. So You know, as I said, it come right back again to the wife being a helpmate to complete us, right? Because maybe there are some things that we want to say to a female in the church, and it might look away. We might say, "Boy, wifey, you have to deal with that part. Discuss that among the women or in the women ministry." So these are some of the stuff that I found real difficult as a male pastor, man pastor, to say to women.
All right, fantastic.
Or let me just say something. And two, I believe it's just because maybe some of our elderly ladies in the church do not really step up to certain things by see to it that the younger dressed properly and sit properly. I went to a church a few years ago, and you have 3 ladies stand up at the front. It was a funeral. They stand at the front, and you see them move to the crowd. Close your leg, close your leg, close your leg, close your leg. And you understand what I'm saying? Sit properly, sit properly, sit properly. You know, and they stand there and they would look and observe, and then you see them just move and do that. You know, I believe that we need some of these mothers in the church, irrespective of the age, but we need some of these mothers in the church to address these things. And two, I have seen a situation where a young lady dressed certain way come to church and somebody just get him up and just take him home, get something new, come back without any quarrel. You can't enter church like this, go get something
But it's
else.
not everyone, that's a word. It's not everyone you can do that with, you know. Some are not.
True.
Some of us get even well-saved Christian, they will get upset and leave the church too.
Very true.
Yeah, and worse again, even, yeah, all right, let's talk about the Christian. And then say visit your church. And they might dress real outrageous. And it can be very, very funny and very, very tedious to really call that individual, because I saw it at my church once, you know, and the sister, she visited for the first time, but she was flying, I guess, the said day, but she come for prayer, and she never dressed that real properly, and the usher took her to the restroom, and she never feel well about that. She never liked the decision. So as I say, we have to be very, why it's sticky, but we have to be very, very cautious in handling certain situations.
That's very true. And I want to pick up on one point there. So we have talked about it in church. Now let's bring it a little closer to home, right? Because we're still on the point of, if you can't talk to your wife, how you want to come talk to me, right? And I've seen it in some cases before where people have thought that the pastor's wife is not well dressed. So if you allow your wife to come out in that, how can you want to now approach me to tell me to dress properly, right? So let's bring it a little closer to home in terms of priesthood. Now, men are supposed to be the priests of their homes, right? Now, what are some of the problems or the difficulties that we encounter when trying to carry out those priestly duties regarding communication? Where, for example, you get a directive from God to say, listen, we need to do this, or you need to do this in a different way, or we need to adjust this thing here, and the woman just refuses to listen, right? Remember, you know, you are supposed to have control over your house before you can go there and be able to have control over a church full of people. When that is not going so well, where is the problem usually in terms of communication? So when you have a directive as a man of God from God, and the woman refuses to hear it, refuses to listen, refuses to abide by it, what do we do? How we get over that? Pastor Miller.
All right, well, when your wife see you as a priest of the house, it will be much easier. And when there is submission, and I guess the key word is also maturity. When that wife is mature and spiritual, and also see you as a priest of the house, you will have less problem. because they will understand when they look to you as the head of the house, the man of the house, the priest of the house, right? I guess it was Sarah called her wife Lord, right?
Abraham, her husband.
Her husband Lord.
Yes.
She look up to him and she respect him as the priest of the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is why it is very much important to we as priests we must treat our queen, Pastor Thomas would call his wife Black Princess or something like that, right?
Black
So
roses.
black roses, right? That's what I'm saying. Whenever we as priests treat our wife with respect and honor, Lord, we won't have a problem. I can tell we won't have a problem.
That is true, but
We
you have
won't have
made
a problem.
a very good point. Submission at that level comes with maturity and
Right.
understanding what priesthood is all about. What happens? So, for example, you are now almost 25 years into marriage. Surely it wouldn't have been the same 24 years ago as it is now 24 years later. So, in those earlier times, and this is for people who are perhaps younger in marriage, right? In those early stages, how do you communicate to the woman that listen, I'm me and priest at the house, right?
Well,
How do
I
you
can confess.
communicate?
I can confess. My earlier years wasn't that easy like now. It gets easier. Trust me. It get much easier, much easier. Even since COVID 2020, let me tell you, man, it seems like I'm living in paradise. Trust me. It seems like I'm living in paradise. It get much easier. Ministry get easier. And I always tell folks, I thank God for COVID. It might seem bad, right? But I thank God for COVID. It has opened up my eyes to a lot of stuff. A lot
Mhm.
of stuff. And right now, if it wasn't for this program, this hour, me and my family would be playing games because this is our games night, which we
Mhm.
never used to
Right.
have before COVID. We have designated night now for games like Thursday
Mhm.
night, Sunday night, and sometimes Monday night.
Mhm.
Me and my boys them knit like glue, right? So as I said again, respect goes a far way off. And the earlier days, I wouldn't say my wife was disrespectful. Yes, but I think as I use the word, this is a strong word, mature. And you know that time, maturity takes time, and sometimes we are mature through hardship. Just like a goal, you have to throw in the fire to become gold, right? And I wonder if she's hearing me. That would be good. Because maybe I get a better hug up tonight, because she has material far away,
Mhm.
far away. And to God be all the glory. To God be all the glory.
All right.
Right? And
Pastor
and and,
Thomas.
and we as
Yes.
husband know we need that strength behind us. We need to know that our wife have our back, and our wife trust us in in,
Mhm.
in, in every area. Trust is important.
Absolutely true.
Come
Thank
on,
you,
over
sir.
to you.
Pastor Thomas, early years of marriage. How do
Whoa.
you communicate?
Early years of
And keep the marriage
marriage.
going? Yes.
There were some real ills in terms of maybe, as you say, lack of maturity. Um, my wife were 20 what? 22 when she get married. Right, 22. And I was what, 28. So there were some stubbornness and I think misunderstanding each other. There's an incident I share some time ago on this platform, where I want to do things and she decide that I'm not going to do it. I want to go somewhere and she decide that I'm not going to go. And, that never go well, but it never bring me to the place where disrespect come in because I don't come back easily after disrespect. So I do not do disrespect. Right? I don't do it because I don't come back so easy. So I do not do it. So but I will do what I have to do. For instance, I wanted to go to a senior deacon that died from my former church, and she don't want me to go. And I decided that I have to go. And she decided that me not going. And I said, I have to go. You understand? I had one pair of shoes then. And she hid the shoes. And I dress now in a silk shirt and a black turtleneck and wool, looking for the shoes, can't find it. So I had a slippers, one of them bend up slippers, buckle up slippers, and I not even polish it, because I get angry. But so I do not take it out on her, I take it out on the shoes by wearing the shoes the way it is. I was really, really angry. You understand? So I do not speak. Right? I do not speak because I do not want to say the right thing and it lead to. I do not want to say the wrong thing and it lead to wronger things. So I definitely do not speak when I'm angry. So I put it on and I leave to the funeral, and I was there. I was living in Maypen then, and this funeral was in Spanish Town. And I have never felt any way until when I reached to the funeral. I was late, but when I reached to the church, peeped through the window and looked down on my foot, I said, Jesus, I really feel cute now, really feel real embarrassed. So I turned back, peeping, maybe allow two persons to see me, and then go back home. So that was one of the immature thing. And the next time again, I think we were talking and she fling away the ring, not fling it intentionally to last it, but she fling it away, take it off. It never lasts. I pick it up, but for weeks she look.
Me not buy it back for me.
It never lasts. I pick it up, but she just never see when I pick it up. So she keep on look for it and look for it and look for it until one night in her sleep, for weeks. And one night when she was sleeping, I tried to put it on her finger, but she
remarry her in her sleep.
And she wake up during the process, So that was like the earlier age. But in terms of disrespect and problems, no, it's very easy. It's good now. I can tell you, it's very, very good. I do not have to speak to her for anything more than the ordinary. She's in line. You understand? So the communication in the sense is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to speak, she know that if I have to speak, I am serious and I mean what I said. And it doesn't matter what, I mean what I say, because it have to be way out of line before I speak. So it's really good. I think she's a good woman. She's mature spiritually and physically. You understand? So as a priest, you understand, I provide that spiritual responsibility where I try to guide her along certain line. And well, that is something from early, because recently something that she see me slack up and now she has said, you teach me that many years ago when we just married, you teach me that. You understand? So it's really good. It's really good. It's not really anything now that really I have to worry about. The maturity good. In terms of this area, the communication is clicking. It's only maybe if there is something, maybe foolishness, only foolishness causes this comfort sometimes when we argue and things like that. But it's good, and the misunderstanding only comes if there's a use of word that above my level, then that's where the thing, the misunderstanding may come in, and I will argue and I will say something, and you say, but you said that, but me say I know that me mean. But other than that, it's really good. It's good, really, really good in that sense.
Okay, all right. I've heard one very important thing coming out of this discussion, and so the summary therefore is that communication gets better with maturity when people learn to understand each other and they learn to talk to each other in a way that each person can understand, what the other person is saying and not to take it in a certain way that is negatively pernicious.
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. We are not done yet. It's just the beginning. So I'm just gonna ask you to join us next week for the continuation of this video. Bless up. And I want to also introduce to you our t-shirt line, Motivation and Memory t-shirt. You will like the things them that is written on it. One call, not say nothing if God not talk. One to press but not push. And the different things that speak on this channel. So support the thing, like, again, share and subscribe. One love. Bless up.